Well, my name is Heiko Burkardsmaier. I'm a visual effects executive producer at Macavision in Stuttgart, Germany, and I founded the visual effects department at the company Macavision 5.5 years ago, together with Yuri Stanasek, our visual effects supervisor.
So what are your thoughts about this View conference and this gathering of people from all over visual effects, video games, VR, mixed reality?
It's a fantastic place. I mean, I found out last year by coincidence and came here, and it's been such a great experience that I really wanted to come back this year, and so it was, it's fantastic. I can only say, I mean, so many great speakers. I mean, you've never come across seeing Hans Zimmer before, and so many show supervisors that tell about shooting and things like that. So I think it's really unique, and it's really great to be here.
So we're in Turin, Italy, your studio's in Germany. Talk a little about the global nature of the visual effects industry today.
I mean, it's been global for a couple of years now, so I think it's, there is not much thing to talk about. I mean, we have fast internet, we have CineSyncs, we have, so it's been global. I mean, I started in visual effects probably 2003, and I think since 2010 or 11, it's standard to be global. I mean, it's not anything new anymore. So yeah, it's what we live and what's, so for us it's good, of course, because being in Stuttgart, Germany, you usually don't get jobs. You're not going to work for international productions. So now it's, they just look at the studio, look at the talent, look at how, I think the clients look how authentic you probably are in what you're doing and saying, and then it doesn't matter where you are around the world, you can be anywhere.
A lot of the people that attend this conference are students. What's it like for you to be able to speak directly to potentially the next generation of visual effects artists?
I mean, anybody who wanted to do anything with film was, as a student, thought that I'm probably never going to make it. So it's very, we really want to give back and tell them that there is a chance if you really work and you really use your talent, that it's not impossible. I mean, I remember standing around in conferences and trying to catch somebody to just exchange a word or something like that when I was young. So it's really, it's really great, and I really have fun talking to young people and encouraging them to find their way in the business.
So this conference also incorporates virtual reality, video gaming. I heard you were just over playing a video game here at the conference. Talk a little about your own interest in video games.
Actually, I'm more like a classic player probably. I'm not really into the newer games, so I like the old NES stuff. So when I'm playing, I look at games that are probably more a bit old school. But I have kids and I see what they're playing. So my oldest son, he's really into Fortnite, and so I see that this is evolving right now. So it's always interesting to see the culture, even if you are not attached in anything at any level in the new video games. But I can see how their fantasy is moving around that. I mean, they're not only playing, but they're collecting the merchandising. They're probably drawing and trying to design new characters, and so it's like for us probably was Star Wars, where you started to evolve your fantasy around something, and you started to try thinking of new characters or whatever. So that's what they have as a video game, is like probably like a center to evolve their fantasy. So I don't see it really as something where they're just in front of the computer and their brain is off. So I think it's something where you can really take something from it and do something creative from it as well. So yeah.
When it comes to video games, we're starting to talk to more and more people here, even at the View, about Unreal Engine 4 and other video game technology now helping with real time. How are you seeing game engine technology impact what you guys do?
At Macavision, we have a real-time department. They're doing mostly configurators for the car industry, and they're working with real-time. So we're always connecting in what the technology does. So I actually, to be honest, I don't know. I think there is a chance in doing things like that, but there is a same chance that we'll be doing things like we used to do them. I mean, it's just a matter of how things are. You don't know. I mean, ray tracing is an important step forward, and but you still have effects, you still have compositing, you still have a big amount of polygons. So yesterday I was at a speech of Paolo, I don't know his last name, from Beta. He's the head of software engineering. And that was a speech that really opened my eyes. I mean, what they're doing is really so fantastic. And I think the way Beta is really using it to probably preview stuff and then have the same render. I mean, they can actually use that file and have the final render in offline. I think there might be a mix. I mean, I think that Beta is really state of the art when it comes to that kind of technology, and we can only move our heads and see, wow, probably can get like a little bit of that. so we're more, in our size, we're more reacting. We're always open eyes. We're doing some development, we're doing some R&D, and we try to put every dime we have into new technology and R&D, but we cannot do that on the same scale. So we're always kind of seeing what's out there, what kind of software, and then have the artist using what's out there, so we will not be Beta or ILM or so.
When it comes to your own work, can you talk about what you guys were able to bring to life in Game of Thrones?
I mean, we mainly were responsible for King's Landing in seasons 4 to 7. We did a good amount of ships. We did the Armada in season 6, and we did Euron Greyjoy ship close-up ship shots. We did CG crowds, the attack on Castle Rock in season 7. We did the attack on when Dothraki attacked in the episode 10. So we had a really large variety of shots and assets in season 7, and it was evolving from season 4 to season 7. So that was really challenging. It was really great because I'm a fanboy of Game of Thrones. So so it was really great to work on that show. But at some point, the things got larger and larger and larger. So we were also happy to then move on to Lost in Space, and the artists that, I mean, in our size, it was basically most of the year Game of Thrones, then a little bit of other stuff, and then Game of Thrones again. So artists were also really happy to do a spaceship after 4 years of digital armies. So so we're really happy to be part of Lost in Space then and do other kind of work. Although it was of course a fantastic experience to work for Game of Thrones.
Just when it comes to Game of Thrones, can you talk a little about how the advances in technology between seasons 4 and season 7 opened up the ability for you guys to bring that?
Actually, I was involved from season 2. I did work for Game of Thrones at my former company, Pixamondo. So when we did the Battle of Blackwater in season 2 at Pixamondo, and there was the attack, it was 14 people, 19 people attacking. That were, where we had the compositing, extending the armies, but at some shots there were really only 19 people, and you had the feeling, wow, this is a large attack, and then we had 14 ships that were shown from different angles when there was this explosion with the wildfire explosion at the Battle of Blackwater. And if you see season 7, when we did the attack on Castle Rock, we had CG armies that were thousands and thousands of people attacking. So that's a big step. And the same thing when they're watching down from Castle Rock, they see Euron Greyjoy's fleet coming up, and we had 800 ships that we had to place in that shot. So it's been evolving, substantially throughout the seasons what's possible. And I mean, Steve and Joe have been pushing that, and I think that's Steve Kalbeck and Joe Bauer, they were always looking what's able, and I mean, we're still talking about TV. I mean, this is, it's new TV, but they invented, actually this kind of production for TV. So they're always pushing the level of what's possible within TV production. So I think it's very largely there. Of course, Rainer also in Rainer Gombosch also in season 2, but I think it's largely their benefit, or not, their credit to that we have this kind of production in visual effects in TV these years.
One of the speakers here at the View conference said yesterday that he didn't know if Westworld would exist or Lost in Space if not first for Game of Thrones, and what they raised the bar when it came to the visual effects and storytelling. When it comes to Lost in Space, what was it like taking something that was very, very old and already rebooted once and then bringing it to life in a new way?
I mean, that part was really Jabbar and Taran. I mean, Jabbar Zini, who's the overall visual effects supervisor, and Taran, who's the visual effects producer on Lost in Space. I mean, they and the directors, they made this part. I mean, when we came in, the designs were already done, and we were happy to do some of the designs, so we were able to do the so-called roly-polies. That's the creatures in episode 4, that like little cockroach aliens and so on. So they gave us great freedom where it was possible, but of course the vision of how it would look like was done before we were involved in season 1. So for us it was just great. In Germany it's not that well known property, so it was just like, wow, that's a cool spaceship, and these shots really and especially what we liked is that we were doing a lot of close-up shots. So we could work on really small details and make it look really photoreal on the close-ups. So that's something where the artists had a lot of fun in building little metal things here and there to have the level of detail that really makes it look photorealistic. So.
What were some of the biggest challenges of what you guys faced with bringing Lost in Space to life?
I mean, actually, probably it was the timing. On season 1 it was a very challenging timing, but other than that, we had one main asset, that was the Jupiter, and so it was a really good cooperation, and it fitted in pretty well. So I think we had really fun doing that. So
well, Jupiter is a main part of the story.
Sorry?
The Jupiter is the main part of the story.
Yeah, part of the story. Yeah, of course. So other vendors worked on the asset. So we were basically did redo the asset for the close-ups. So that was our part of doing, and we did all the feet and the opening door and things like that. So and the machines when they're going off. So we did all the machines and all the little things that open and things like that. So that was really cool to do that.
What excites you when you look at the future of visual effects?
I mean, right now it's it's good times for visual effects. I mean, when I started doing this business, it was like getting whatever job you can for whatever price there is, just because you wanted to work in visual effects. There was no business reasonability in this business, except for probably very few people, because you just wanted to do this job, and then you got every job you had. So now there is enough jobs out there that you can focus on something, you can have a vision for what you do, and I think there is enough. I mean, we started with Netflix and Amazon. Amazon now is doing more visual effects intensive projects. I mean, they will come up with Lord of the Rings, and then we know that Disney is doing their own streaming. So I think streaming, and Apple of course is doing streaming, and I don't know what YouTube after Cobra Kai will do, or if they will go into more visual effects. But I think there will be a lot of competition on this level, and there is so many productions going out that if you want to be unique, you need to do something with a lot of visual effects, like at the theater, to attract the people to choose your streaming and not the others. So I think from that point of view, especially like us, we're have a specialization in serial productions like Game of Thrones or Lost in Space. The future is pretty bright for the next a couple of years, I think. So and we really want to focus on CG heavy stuff and environments, spaceships, and some simulation work. So that's what we want to focus on, like complicated shots, like we did for Game of Thrones and Lost in Space. So that's what we want to focus on, because I think there is so many vendors that you have to be, they also have to find you with a profile, and so our profile, we really want to do the hard stuff. So.